Exodus 33. Moses and the glory of the Lord. After the golden calf, everything changes. The Israelites had sinned terribly, and God was angry with them. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Leave this place, you and the people you brought up out of Egypt, and go up to the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I will send an angel before you and drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey. But I will not go with you, because you are a stiff-necked people, and I might destroy you on the way." An angel. Not God's presence. Provision without presence. Promise without the promiser. When the people heard these distressing words, they began to mourn, and no one put on any ornaments. For the Lord had said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. If I were to go with you even for a moment, I might destroy you. Now take off your ornaments, and I will decide what to do with you." So the Israelites stripped off their ornaments at Mount Horeb, the tent of meeting. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. They can't go in, but they can watch, they can worship, they can hope. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance, while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshipped, each at the entrance to their tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend, not as a subject to a king, not as a servant to a master, as a friend. Intimacy, relationship, connection. Then Moses would return to the camp. But his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Moses and the glory of the Lord. Moses said to the Lord, "You have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are pleased with me, teach me your ways so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people." The Lord replied, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Then Moses said to him, "If your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with your people and with me unless you go with us? What else will distinguish your people and me from all the other people on the face of the earth?" And the Lord said to Moses, "I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you and I know you by name." Then Moses said, "Now show me your glory." And the Lord said, "I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But," he said, "you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." Then the Lord said, "There is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen." Teachings and lessons. 1. God's presence is the only thing that sets us apart. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. If your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with your people and me unless you go with us? God offered an angel, provision, protection, guidance, but not his presence. And Moses said, "If you don't go, we don't go." Why? Because without God's presence, Israel was just another nation. Without God's presence, the promised land was just real estate. Without God's presence, success was empty. For us, what are you chasing that looks good but lacks God's presence? A job, a relationship. If he is not in it, it is worthless. Presence is the prize. Nothing else distinguishes you. 2. The tent outside the camp shows that sin separates. Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. After the golden calf, God couldn't dwell in the camp. The camp was contaminated. So Moses moved the tent outside. Anyone who wanted to seek God had to leave the camp and go to where God was. Sin creates distance. It doesn't change God's location, but it changes ours. We have to leave the camp to find him. For us, is there a camp you need to leave? Habits, relationships, and environments that contaminate? You can't bring the camp into God's presence. You have to leave it behind. 3. God speaks to friends face to face. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. Not as a subject to a king, not as a servant to a master, as a friend, intimacy. Relationship connection. This is astonishing. The same God who told Israel not to come near the mountain now speaks to Moses like a friend. A relationship with God is possible. Real connection, real conversation. For us, you are invited into the same friendship, not based on your perfection, but on His grace. Talk to Him. Listen to Him. Friendship with God is real. 4. Joshua lingers. The next generation hungers. Then Moses would return to the camp. But his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Moses left. Joshua stayed. He lingered in God's presence even after the leader departed. This young man was hungry, and that hunger would prepare him to lead Israel into the promised land. For us, don't depend on someone else's spirituality. Stay in the tent yourself. Linger, hunger. The next generation isn't built by watching leaders. It is built by seeking God personally. 5. Moses prays with holy audacity. Now show me your glory. Moses had already been promised presence, but he wanted more. He wanted to see glory, not because he was greedy, but because he was hungry. One taste of God made him want the full meal, and God didn't rebuke him. God accommodated him. I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you. For us, ask for more. Not more stuff, more of Him. Holy audacity pleases God. He can handle your hunger. He responds to it. 6. God's hand covers before glory is revealed. I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Moses couldn't handle full glory. No one can. So God protected him while revealing Himself. The same hand that covered Moses also let him see. Just not everything. God knows how much you can handle. He doesn't give you more than you can bear. He covers you while revealing Himself gradually. For us, trust the covering. Trust the timing. He is revealing what you need when you need it, and He is protecting you from what would overwhelm you.
Subscribe, like, comment, and hit notification button for more videos, more Bible study, and more Bible knowledge. We got you.